We want to bring you a live report from outside of the courtroom. Fox 6 News reporter Sam Kramer joining us live outside of the courtroom. Hey, Sam, obviously a busy day in that courtroom. Please tell us, how did things go today?
Yeah, actually, another long day, but really what's been on par with what has been a long trial, really extending across the entire month of October. Tonight, the case is in the hands of the jury, but a decision will not come. They were excused for the night right around 8:30, just under 2 hours into their deliberations. They'll return back here tomorrow at 8:30 tomorrow morning, but all of those discussions, those deliberations came after some powerful closing arguments, some of which you just heard right there. The prosecution says they have told the jury everything they need to know, including Brooks' intent, arguing for those 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide as to why they believe that jury should return 76 guilty verdicts as for what happened at the Waukesha Christmas parade attack last year. Brooks, meanwhile, got very emotional, saying he is not a murderer. He took offense to that claim. Speaking directly to the jury.
This was an accident, and he mistakenly wandered onto the parade route after passing all this, and he mistakenly wandered onto the parade route. At any point, all he had to do was stop.
District Attorney Sue Opper highlighted why she says Darrell Brooks should be found guilty of all charges, especially 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. The law states any reasonable person would stop, but in her closing argument, Opper points out Brooks never did.
He reached speeds of approximately 30 miles an hour. That's intentional. He plowed through 68 different people. 68. How can you hit 1 and keep going? How can you hit 2 and keep going? How can you hit 3 and keep going? Didn't faze him a bit.
She worked through all of the affected parade units and says Brooks killed all 6 people and endangered the safety of thousands of others. Brooks took offense to the label in his closing argument.
Throughout this year, I've been called a lot of things. And to be fair, I am a lot of things. A murderer is not one of them. Never has been, never will be.
Fighting back tears, Brooks again argued what happened at the parade was not intentional, referencing witness testimony that claimed the SUV swerved to avoid some people and was honking its horn.
And maybe it's just me, but I would think if I was characterizing someone with this intent to kill and this rage and this anger, then why weren't people immediately harmed?
But now it's up to the jury to decide as a community waits anxiously for a verdict. So again, that jury will return here to the Waukesha County Courthouse at 8:30 a.m. local time, that's Central Standard Time. So far, and again, just under 2 hours of deliberations, the jury has asked 3 questions of the court. The first 2 were to see exhibits. They wanted to see the photo that the prosecutors had of Erica Patterson. That is Brooks' ex-girlfriend, who they say he had a domestic incident with, abused right before this all began. They also wanted to see video from Main Street of the SUV actually plowing through the Dancing Grannies. That's the deadliest group impacted by this parade. Their third question was if they could go home for the day, which again was a little bit after 8, finally dismissed about 8:30 local time. Shirley?
Hey, Sam, so I saw online that someone posted on Reddit that a juror obviously posted on that website that the judge is apparently biased towards Brooks, and apparently that person claimed to be a juror. What's going on with all of that?
Yes, so that was kind of a point of contention that was brought up just as the jury began its deliberations. The judge, again, became aware through email, and actually the prosecution team said they had received similar emails as well. And an anonymous user posted this lengthy discussion, which they, again, are claiming to be a juror and had some thoughts about the case, again, including, as you mentioned, that they thought it was biased, that they thought Brooks' questions of subject matter jurisdiction were actually relevant and important to this case. Once that was heard in court, reporters started to dig to it. A lot of that Reddit subthread, a lot of users went to it to see it with their own eyes. Just minutes later, the person who posted that actually edited their post to say this was all a prank. Nonetheless, the judge said she was concerned about it, but she had no reason. She said she had no reason to believe it was credible. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Office was investigating at last check, but again, now that the user behind that post has edited it to say it was all a prank, I'm not sure if that's still an issue moving forward.
All right, Sam, thanks so much for bringing us the latest on the Darrell Brooks trial. We certainly appreciate it here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, thanks for having me.